Hey, what is going on everybody? My name is Strix and I am back for another video on my channel, and today you probably have guessed by the title this video has to do with meshing, and not in terms of like doing a raid from under the mesh. This has to do with like mesh defenses, and this goes out of Studio Wildcard because I feel like people are getting dev wiped in a lot of bullshit recently. Obviously dev wiping is long overdue, but in certain situations in terms of like mesh defense, which I'm going to talk about in this video, should not, in my opinion, be a dev wipeable, if that is the word for it, offense. So basically, recently from what I've heard, if I'm not mistaken, I heard yesterday a guy named Amar Tamer, I guess that's a little shout out to you, but he's a YouTuber, and apparently he got somebody dev wiped, or he heard of somebody getting dev wiped for having mesh turrets. And in my opinion, I feel like that's wrong because obviously in certain situations mesh defenses are key in terms of like aberration. You can mesh literally anywhere, Ragnarok, and just anywhere you can basically mesh. So mesh defenses are obviously the only way you can protect yourself in terms of actually legit raiding. Meshing, in my opinion, has somewhat I don't want to say it because I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for it. I feel like it's slowed down at least maybe by like 20% from what it used to be, because what it used to be was terrible. That's when supremacy was around and shit. But now that that's all gone, everybody's realized like, hey, meshing isn't really everything in the game, and Mazza sort of died down on it. He's actually starting to realize that there's more to the game than just straight fucking meshing. So I don't know what I'm getting at. I'm trying to say like mesh defenses are key to being able to keep your base alive. Like in Ice Cave on Island, if you don't have mesh defenses, you're done. Like, I know everybody saw iCreepy's video, or have at least heard of iCreepy's mesh base on 362 if I'm not mistaken. And it's like, you see how fat that base was, and you can do all that under the mesh. Obviously you shouldn't be doing that under the mesh, but in certain situations like mesh defenses, only turrets, no like full-on bases or shit like that. Maybe a teleporter on Scorched outside of the map, or maybe a teleporter under the map on Aberration, just in case you get raided. And yes, you can place teleporters under the map on Ab, or anywhere on the map on Aberration if you guys didn't know, so don't give me shit in the comments for that. They changed it with the last update. But basically what we do, and having mesh defenses under our bases, is basically like anybody could go to the devs, take a picture of it, even though they could be under the mesh too. And basically what people do to try to get people dev wiped and just fuck them over is go under the mesh after they go to the server, obviously, and basically just report, make a ticket, and get them dev wiped for having defenses under the mesh so they could simply mesh them. It's such a stupid ordeal in my opinion. Why are you allowed to submit a ticket to Wildcard telling them like, hey, these people have mesh defenses, so we can't mesh them, you know? How would they know they had mesh defenses? Unless they're in their base already getting shot out from under the mesh, which that's a different a whole entire different thing, and that I'll explain. But basically, in my opinion, I feel like you should be able to have mesh turrets. And another thing is, people meshing is just stupid. Like I said, they can go into the map, submit a ticket, get dev wiped if they don't remove the mesh turrets, or just straight up get dev wiped. I know a few instances where people have gotten dev wiped with no prior warning. They just straight up zoom, done. You know what I mean? It's like your entire base can go away in a second just because you're trying to defend your base. In my opinion, I'd rather get dev wiped for having mesh defenses than get meshed, because that means, I mean, the devs, they could spawn in their own loot, which I'm sure there's a few people that do that, but at the end of the day, I'd rather get dev wiped than meshed, because that means they get the loot instead of the devs. The devs really, I don't think they go for loot. That wouldn't make much sense to me unless they have another tribe, which I'm sure a few of them do. But I don't know. But that's basically my standpoint on it. I don't know if you guys like listen to me explain that correctly, or If you guys have any questions on what the fuck I'm talking about, let me know down in the comments. But basically, in my stance, I feel like you should have mesh turrets, or have the ability to put mesh turrets down there if you know how to mesh to begin with. So they shouldn't open massive holes in the map just to mesh. I feel like that would be a little extensive. But if they were to have like maybe no bannable offense for having mesh turrets, obviously mesh bases are different, but mesh turrets should not be bannable, because if you get banned or dev wiped for having mesh turrets, that's just you, or someone had to have reported that. I don't think the devs really go on the server and investigate themselves unless someone has reported it throughout one point in history. So someone's definitely fucking you over. And multiple occasions, from what I heard from one of Amar's videos or something, I feel like it was him that did it. Correct me down in the comments if I'm wrong, but he went under the mesh, clearly took a screenshot of their mesh defenses while he's under the mesh, and clearly showed that he was under the mesh, and they got dev wiped for it. It doesn't make any sense to me how that's a bannable offense. And Studio Wildcard, if you're watching this, which I'm sure at least one person that has connections to Studio Wildcard, at least one person watches my videos somewhere around the world, and get this out to him. I want everybody to go tweet this video at him and let them know, like, we don't want to get dev wiped for having or protecting our mesh, because I'd rather get dev wiped for protecting my mesh than getting meshed, because there's still meshers out there. If you guys don't want us to have mesh defenses, please just fix your game. There's a lot of mesh videos out there. I know Goldfish is working on a series on that, which I've been actually intrigued about, because a lot of people are hating on him for it, which, I mean, is understandable, but I feel like it would be a good thing to have out there, because that gives them pressure to patch it. That's sort of like the duping glitch. They were pressured to patch that because it was so widespread, so they tried everything to patch duping. And meshing's been around since day one. It hasn't really been exposed because everybody that would upload a video on it would get shit for it. Say if I uploaded a video a long ass time ago of meshing, like how to mesh like fucking Pearl Cave. I don't even remember. It was so fucking long ago, and I got shit for it. And I believe Jeff made a video on how to mesh all of Center's parts, and Center got patched up decently. It didn't get patched up all the way, obviously, because he didn't show every mesh method, but they patched up most of the Center mesh methods because it was so widespread, and that video was practically everywhere. Meshing is just a fucked up thing to do. I mean, I'm not Angel, to be honest. I've done it once or twice, but leave me alone, okay? But I've been meshed so many fucking times, and I feel like having mesh defenses shouldn't be bannable. It should be something that should be actually promoted until they fix their shit. They're bringing out these new DLCs and everything new, but they can't fix their game. Please, Studio Wildcard, someone watching this video has connection to Studio Wildcard. At least one person. Like, I don't know if Goldfish can tweet this at him, or PM Jat on Snapchat, which I'm still iffy about that, but someone let Studio Wildcard know about this video. I just want them to understand the struggles we go to. Either we get dev wiped or we get meshed. That's basically how it goes now in the game. And that's basically the summary of it. And one more point I do want to get across to extend this to 10 minutes maybe. Well, yeah, you know how I am. But so battery turrets are fucking broken. In my opinion, the only way you should be able to have a battery turret, they're balanced with the timer and shit, but the only way you should be able to have them is if it's only a normal turret. Heavy turrets are fucking OP. That is 4 normal turrets shooting at you at once. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Like, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like, wow, what are you doing, you know? So the only reason I'm bringing that up is to extend it to 10 minutes, and to bring it up because someone has connection to Wildcard Dev, and I want somebody to let them know mesh defenses are not bad, and the only reason, or the only way you should be able to put batteries in heavies is if it is a normal turret and not a heavy turret. Heavy turrets are OP, and if you cannot push heavy turrets, like, well, I mean you can, but it's basically like a portable fob, and you can set it down anywhere, any platform, any surface, it doesn't matter. So the only way you should be able to have these heavy turrets is on a generator. No batteries in heavy turrets in my opinion. But it's over 10 minutes now, so let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Mesh defenses are good, meshing is bad, and heavy turrets like you see right now should not be allowed with batteries because they are fucking retardedly OP. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. This is just a video letting you guys know what I think. I'm going to be doing a lot of these videos bringing up problems that are going on within ARK, and hopefully this gets out to Studio Wildcard and lets them know that we don't enjoy being mesh, but we also don't enjoy being dev wiped for protecting our mesh. So if you guys went on to enjoy today's video, let me know down in the comments. And if you guys haven't already, go watch my last video. It would be very much appreciated. It took me so much work to do. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see everybody the next time. My name is Strix, and adios.